All right, everyone, welcome back to the Performance Matters podcast. I'm Matrixx here with Myles. As always, we want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Pete Method Photography, the premier sportsographer in the Niagara region. You can check them out at www.petemethodphotography.com or via email petemethodphotography@gmail.com. Support local. Today's episode, quick breakdown. We do have an event for the community that if you're all interested, with the month of October, aka Squattober, coming up, we're having our event Squattoberfest, which will be on October 24th from 5 p.m. till 8 p.m. Free to attend. There'll be some food. If you want, you can order our limited edition T-shirts, which are designed by our own Destiny Renson. So if you're looking to support local with that one, she did a fantastic job with the artwork. We have new T-shirts come out every year, only on this event. Of course, they sell out, and of course, it's limited edition. So the event is October 24th. 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Free to attend. Show up. If you want to throw down, by all means, come on in, throw down, bend the bar a little bit. Otherwise, you can just come hang out, support, and then just kind of meet and greet, I guess. Like we always have pretty good turnouts every year. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, pretty good turnout. A lot of time, funny enough, it ends up being everyone's done squatting, somebody benches or somebody hits some other lift too. So it's just a big
meathead.
Big meathead fest, essentially. That's it.
Yeah, big meathead fest. And honestly, it's kind of cool to see people that just kind of show up that just want to watch, and the next thing you know, they're kind of getting under it. So we encourage you all to show up if you're around and available October 24th, 5 to 8 p.m. Also, we have now our interns are kind of full swing. And I think on this episode, we're really going to break down, because I think it's important to know what makes a good internship, right? Especially if we're talking about the field of strength conditioning, not just from like the university aspect, but also the high school. We have a lot of high school co-op students that come through as well. But we have our prime focus being obviously our undergrads, our graduate students, that kind of stuff. Because again, IPC is a teaching facility. We want to make sure that we're creating the next generation of coaches that have not only the theoretical understanding, but hopefully a lot of now practical experience once they kind of, get some reps under their belt, right? So, what do you think makes a good internship? Like, let's kind of start with that. Like, what really is an internship?
I think first things first, we should talk about why or where ours even came from. And I think, like you said, we pride ourselves on being a teaching facility. And I think we really try to provide an experience that maybe neither one of us really had as university or college students. So it's also a good example of taking advantage of time when a lot of people were just sitting around feeling bad for themselves. Like, we actually put together and constructed the internship during COVID.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, so a lot of people are just sitting around like feeling bad for themselves. Maybe, I can't work. There's nothing you can do. We're always about finding what you can do.
Yeah.
So there was a pretty good internship program before I already got here, but a lot of the material came from, some like known individuals in the field, which was great. The point we kind of came up to in COVID, we were like, well, why don't we just make our own, right? Yeah. From our own experience, referencing all these sources, of course, but we were like, why don't we just make our own? So that's kind of where that started from. So the internship, I think what makes a good internship is that it's all-encompassing, because I think there's a lot of internships that are very practical and maybe not so much theoretical.
Yeah.
There are a lot that are very theoretical and not so much practical, and I think what we've tried to do is marry the two and really give our intern candidates a full experience of what the industry really looks like. So I think as far as what makes a good internship, like that's kind of where I would start, is that it's got the balance of both sides of the industry.
Yeah, we developed it. I think when it initially started like years and years ago. It literally was just, hey, here's some good articles from some accredited sources.
Yeah.
Some good coaches in the field that wrote some good stuff. And yeah, the year you started, we had a really good group. Actually, we had like 3 guys plus yourself. I think there's like 4 or 5 of us, and we literally would just meet. I think it was like on a Sunday or something, and we just literally have a discussion on the material that was kind of posted, and then we would just throw down. Be like, okay, let's practice, and let's.
Yeah, one guy in the room would write the workout for the day. I remember.
Yeah, we had one guy. Okay, it was your week to design something. We all would go through it, give some feedback, what we liked, what we changed, And then, like you said, it was during COVID where we kind of sat down, like, well, now we have the time. Let's kind of like create a whole curriculum and kind of stack upon some things and actually like not just regurgitate like, hey, here's this article, look at it. It really came down to like, let's decipher it. Let's take what's probably valuable in our own experience and put it on paper so they have essentially this culmination of all these different sources and references, and then also our own experience with using them, and then put that on paper so they have hopefully some understanding. And then it just evolved into now having case studies. Like every week there's a new case study they have to program for a certain scenario, certain sport, certain constraints, timelines, frequency, all that kind of stuff. So they get a lot of programming experience, and they get the opportunity to have it receive feedback. They get to almost like a thesis defense. They get to sit down, break it down. We give our feedback. The other colleagues in the room give their feedback.
They give each other feedback, which is
Yeah,
fun.
they give each other feedback, kind of give their own points and 2 cents on it. So it's really been it's really evolved from what it used to be to like a literal course,
Right.
like an academic course, you want to call it that. But yeah, so I think that's what kind of separates it, because I know a lot of times, especially if they're doing like their placement hours or they have to do co-op hours, a lot of times it's a lot of observation. Maybe they just kind of what we call translate. Like the head guy gives you the paper. Okay, you have the paper. You just tell them what to do from the paper, right? You're just kind of like the middleman, just translating. Versus how we believe is like, okay, you're gonna have to earn the responsibility, but like once you have all this experience now programming these hypothetical scenarios, right, and getting to observe and see how we actually practice it, you get the opportunity to now take charge or lead and actually like put what you've done into practice and actually, pretty much like facilitate the environment for athletes to do their work.
Right.
So I think what makes just kind of building. I think what makes a good internship is it has to be both the academic part of things, but not just here's what so and so said, right? It has to be like there has to be a deeper dive into why might this be valuable, but why do you not think it might not be valuable, or maybe scenarios where it might work or scenarios might not work, and then have like the discussion. Because I think a lot of times these interns get caught in, we just had one the other day. There was just like, oh yeah, well so and so said this was good for this. Well, what do you think?
Right.
It's like, well, why wouldn't it work, or why would it work, or what situations you see it being an issue? Is this logistical, practical, whatever? There's not like a lot of thought.
Right.
I think it's kind of just like very textbook format. What they're used to is like, so and so said this, the book said this. So okay, that's all well and good. Then how would you apply? Or like, can you think of a scenario where this could be good, or like maybe not so good? Like, who would you use it for?
Yeah, be a cook before you become a chef.
Yeah,
but at some point you got to become a chef.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was just kind of regurgitation. So it's trying to like kind of break past that barrier a little bit. So I think how we kind of run it is pretty good. But yeah, I think most internships are going to be good. It has to be both like the theological side of things, the academic side of things, but also give them the opportunities to practice, right? Not just observe. Observing is good to a certain extent, but they need to actually implement some things on their own with the freedom to make mistakes.
Right.
Like when they get the opportunity to coach teams or coach people, it's like you're going to make a lot of mistakes. It's going to be uncomfortable. You might, people might not listen to you, all this kind of stuff. You have to actually do the thing to practice. Like, okay, well, I did that, but it actually didn't listen, or it was too loud, or they didn't, the setup wasn't right, or it wasn't like a good flow for the session. Okay, great. So what would you change next time? But you need to actually make those mistakes instead of just reading about it and say, okay, yeah, if I did it, I would do it this way. It's like, well, you have no experience doing any of it.
Right. You can't just sit on the bench and watch a bunch of hockey games and then play in the NHL, right?
Yeah. It's like I read all the books on how to be a pro hockey player.
Yeah.
I'm ready to be a pro hockey player.
Yeah. I've been on the bench. I've been around it. I've seen it. So I think what makes any internship effective is having both the theoretical and the practical side. I think specifically what sets our internship experience apart is actually the total process and package of what our interns experience.
Yeah.
So for those out there who don't know, we have this 12-week curriculum that we've designed that we talked about through COVID, and we've now edited it time and time again, right? The better we get, the better interns get, and they're getting a new delivery of our curriculum every single semester, right? Because we're constantly learning white belt mentality. So the curriculum itself is always evolving, but nonetheless, we have the curriculum with the readings. There's videos we've made, so they have to read every week, watch the videos. Then they're evaluated. Like you said, they need to receive feedback. So they're evaluated through our quizzes based on the material. Then they're doing case studies every week, which we make up theoretically, all different kinds of population too. So again, oftentimes they've been in different internships, like I just coach swimming, I just coach basketball, I just coach Gen Pop. Throughout our case studies, they're dealing with all different types of populations, Gen Pop, athlete, everything in between. And they're receiving feedback on it, like you said, in a collaborative, constructive room of us 3 coaches on our staff, plus other intern or interns, depending on the semester. So they're receiving that feedback. And then obviously, like you said, they're getting the on the floor coaching hours, which we give them feedback on that as well. And then they have their portfolio projects on the side. I think that's what really helps set it apart too. So not only do they have the quantified, quizzes, blogs where they're going to receive feedback, but they also have different portfolio projects too, where we're like, 21st century, good luck being a coach without an Instagram. You don't have to be an influencer, you don't have to be on there doing anything crazy, but you should be on there having a presence, right? It also shows that if you're willing to put yourself out there to educate somebody on a topic, like a little stupid 10-second tip Tuesday or something, right? Like, that's nerve-wracking when you've never done it. So just being able to build a portfolio like that, when you graduate from this program, I'm not saying pass, not pass, fail. When you graduate from here, you should be able to wear this shirt with pride, right? And we should be able to actually put our stamp on you and say, yeah, this person is hireable because they've gone through this entire process, and on multiple different facets, they've passed with flying colors.
Yeah, it's not just you're qualified. It's like we're trying to build competency.
Right.
Right. A big part of it, like I think we did a good job. The case, like based on all the feedback over the years from previous interns, a big feedback point was they wanted the programming practice.
Right.
So, okay, good. Case studies are a big, check that box really heavily because now these scenarios have evolved. We're including a lot more data, like, hypothetical data and scenarios. So now they're looking at to refine, almost like a deeper microscope dive you want. So they have like more data to compare and they hopefully better guide the programming in their scenarios. And then the other side of it's like, I want them to get uncomfortable with writing, right? Like putting information out there, like whether it's behind a camera or just
even blogging,
like put your knowledge and find a way to simplify it so it's applicable to the person that you hope would to read it. You know what I mean? So it's like you have all this knowledge or all this experience. Like, well, can you formulate it in a way where someone who doesn't know as much as you on this stuff but's looking to make an improvement can take what you've written and apply it practically in their own setting.
Right. Establish yourself as a subject matter expert, right?
Yeah, and make it digestible where they can actually take some value from it versus just regurgitate all these fancy things. So, but that takes practice, right? And we would hope to say that this would prepare them for the future because, like you said, if we have 12-week internship and they have 12 case study program examples they've created, they have an article they've written, they have all these videos they've made, you pretty much have this holistic approach of like, look at this person that not only is qualified in terms of like their academic degrees, but look at all this experience they have writing programs, look at all the experience they have, making educational content.
And their willingness to try and put themselves out there.
Yeah.
And be
it's less foreign.
Be judged and be, ridiculed for their posts and stuff that they put out there. They have the confidence to do that, right?
Yeah.
Because it is nerve-wracking.
Absolutely. And it's a two-way street though, right? We've had some tremendous interns that I think took a lot from the opportunity. I would say like majority of the interns that graduate from our program, they tend to go on and do some pretty great things, whether in their own field or somewhere else. So it's like, well, what makes a good intern a good intern? Like, what makes a good intern stand out?
So I think what makes a good intern is shares a lot of commonalities with what makes a good employee.
Yeah.
We'll kind of chop it up maybe both ways, but showing up early, being willing to stay late and clean up, like a lot of those simple, like lost soft skills, these are the people that are not going to get replaced by AI, right? Being willing to do the things that nobody else wants to do, that's what makes a good intern. I think being open to learning and open to receiving feedback will make a good intern. I think the interns too, like what really gets me super excited is when we have some of these interns who, again, we put them through a pretty rigorous curriculum by design. We have some interns that will come in and be like, hey, in addition to all that stuff, like, I came in, I got 100 on my quiz every week, but also I was reading this other stuff on my own or watching this video or taking this course. Like, what do you think about this? Like the ones that are really willing to go out on their own and do that extra research and that extra learning, I think that's really what makes a good intern. And that's what gives me a lot of hope that that person is going to succeed in the field because that's what it takes.
Yeah, they're passionate about the industry itself, not just, I want to just do this to say I did it.
I did what you guys asked me. Yeah, that is awesome.
I checked the box. I got my degree. I did my placement. Look, I did all those things. Like, but that's the bare minimum. That's like the cover charge.
I'll never forget Danielle coming in one day and being like, hey, last night I watched this hour webinar on University of Notre Dame, like fencing, strength and conditioning, like, cause she was a fencer, like, what do you think about this, what they were doing? And I was like, oh my God.
That's refreshing.
She gets it. I'm like, oh my God, she gets it, right?
Yeah, it's refreshing.
And she never missed an assignment, and she got great on every quiz. So, like, nothing was ever neglected, but she was going the extra mile, right? And look at her now. She's worked in a university setting. Now she's working with Team Canada Soccer. Like, it's not by accident.
Yeah. I would go back to good interns have to be open-minded.
Yeah.
Because, again, like, we've seen in the past, too, where we've had people come through because, like, they come from, like, a collegiate background.
Yeah.
Or something like that. They think almost like, I don't know why, but some, not all. They think they have, like, this, they're higher up on the chain. Like the fucking peacock, like, oh, I'm from this, I have this logo. It's like, when you get more deep in the weeds, like, you're not, no one cares. You know what I mean? Nobody fucking cares. Like, there's fantastic guys that are in the private sector. Like, you have Ben Prentice, you have Cressy, you have, like, numerous guys that are doing fantastic things that you guys as a collegiate strength coach could never do. Even
Donnell said, who's been, like, a career collegiate guy, he said, like, every young athlete or every young coach, should go work a summer in private at least because of the invaluable skills you can gain from it that you just can't gain from collegiate. Nothing against collegiate. It has its own challenges and stuff, but that's one unique aspect, right?
Yeah, you get a whole different demographic of people from a variety of backgrounds with different needs, and you have a whole bunch of different skills required to succeed in it. So I think them being open-minded when they come here, it's okay. If you're coming from the collegiate sector, it's like just be open-minded to challenge concepts and challenge way of thinking
Right.
and just see how it compares to this. Not saying there's right or wrong. It's just, can you adapt what you currently know to fit the environment you're now in? And are you open to learning new concepts that might help with that? And if you're going to fight it every step of the way, it's like, well, then you're not going to get the most out of it. Like you're
Right.
going to be stuck in almost like a pigeonhole of like, this is what you know, that's all you know. And you'll
Right.
never be flexible to adapt or learn something else because you've already kind of closed those guardrails. Like, it doesn't matter what we tell you or help you understand. You're not willing to change your mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think they have to be open to changing their mind. If otherwise, like, well, what's the point of debating or discussing anything? It's like, if there's nothing that would change your mind, why bother? Like,
Right.
save your time and just do what you want to do.
And on that point, it's funny because sometimes I think initially they get frustrated, but later they appreciate it. Where we do the weekly case studies, and we're giving them suggestions. I'm like, okay, so based on the program and what we know about this hypothetical situation, you could have went this way, and this probably might have worked well. And then you might come up with another point. Also, you could have went this other way that would have worked well too. And then Aiden will have some other unique perspective, and they're like, well, which one's right? And we're like, all of them, and also none of them. We don't know. The whole point is like we're trying to teach them how to think critically. And I said to them last week, like, none of us are here claiming to be right in this game. We're just trying to be less wrong. And at first, I think because they're so university, they're so like,
Yeah.
2 + 2 = 4. They're like, well, coaches, which one's the way? And I'm
Yeah,
like,
black
yeah,
and
these
white.
are probably all the ways, right? All models are wrong. Some are useful, whatever that quote is. So
Yeah.
I think initially, like to your point, I think that's part of them learning how to think critically is like taking all the information we have available to us and what we know. These are some different paths you could have took with the programming. I said it yesterday. It's a lot easier to look at a program and say maybe what's wrong than what's right sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Especially with the level we're at, and it's getting better every week. But I think that helps them kind of learn how to think critically through the process.
Yeah. I think it's a two-way street. Like, there's a responsibility on us as well as like mentors. It's like we have to communicate very transparently like what this experience is about, and we could have a lot of success with it. It's like, here's what made them, here's why they were successful in their own way of doing it, and here's the standards that we hold ourselves to and how we're going to help hold you to, right? It's our responsibility to help educate you and provide you with opportunities to put into practice the things we've discussed, the things you know. So I think there's like an equal share of responsibility, obviously, right? They have to come in open-minded learning, and we have to provide the environment, the facilitated experience for them to
Totally.
practice and make the mistakes, right? Which I think we've always been. But it's always interesting every cohort we get. Like you could see some that like just kind of have that knack for it, like they're really passionate.
Right.
And even if they don't decide to go like the strength conditioning, maybe it's like sports science, or maybe it's PT, or maybe it's something else. There's still a benefit where they can kind of get a lot from this realm that's going to help them, whether it's in the rehab setting or in some other aspect of fitness, health, or performance.
It's a big one too. I think is not only being open-minded to learning, like you said, but being personable.
Yeah.
Because when they come in, a lot of them initially are so textbook. Yeah, that's great. But do you even know the athlete or the client's name in front of you? And like that's going to carry them through, like you said, if they want to go into physio, they want to go to sports science, they want to go into teaching, whatever they want to do, any job in the world. I think that personability, if that's a word, or that being personable aspect is often overlooked, but like incredibly important too. And you can't learn that in a textbook.
Yeah, it's a relationship industry first.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, people say it all the time, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Simply put, it's just be a human, right? Like you're trying to facilitate something for someone to do something that's going to be strenuous,
Right.
that they may be uncomfortable or foreign doing. And your job is to establish bind and trust where they were more likely to put themselves in a scenario to do those things you're asking them to do. But if you can't communicate that or have experience communicating that with a variety of people that have received feedbacks in different ways, you kind of set yourself up for failure. It doesn't really matter how much you know. You have the perfect program on paper. If you can't coach it or help someone understand how to do it, then you're fucking useless. You know what I mean? So there has to be the ability for them to put themselves in scenarios and like introduce themselves and have communication and conversations. Like a good point is it's like, if you're speaking to everyone in the room, like try to have like one or two conversations that do not involve anything to do with sport, anything to do with training. Just have a conversation. Just kind of lower the guards a little bit. You know what I mean? Like learn their names, absolutely. Like learn something about them. Like just be a human, and then that human aspect will help translate to them actually being more open to listening to you and to implementing things you're telling them to do. Right, and also be more flexible when you make mistakes. Right, like we're all gonna make mistakes, so it's like they're more likely to say, okay, it's fine. Like you're learning, we're all learning, like whatever. But if you're kind of coming off as a pompous, know-it-all asshole, like fuck you.
Yeah, well, it's a good point. What you kind of alluded to it, but there's been a couple times where through the internship, like the The interns that are doing well can earn an opportunity to coach more independently in a team setting. Sometimes even programming teams in the past with people like Danielle who've really jumped off the page. So it's funny, sometimes they finally get that first opportunity to run a team session, and afterwards they're like looking for feedback. They're like, man, I crushed that shit. Like, you guys see me, I was on the ball, I was timing, like the cues were flying, and I'm like, dude, great job. Like, can you name everyone for me? And then there's a moment of like,
What was their name?
didn't you see how I had this cue and this loading scheme and this? Yes, awesome.
Yeah.
What was her name? What was his name? And they're like, fuck. It's like, hey, maybe you got to flip bar. Like, that stuff's great. You did a hell of a job. That's the hard part. You did the hard part well, but the very profound, simple, easy part, you didn't even know everybody's name, right? Yeah. So it's like, let's work back from there. And, it's something we're always preaching, like, from day one. Shout out to Iman. I don't know if he has a gift or he just works really hard at it, but that guy knew every name of every person he ever met.
Yeah, he was fucking awesome.
And everybody still asks about him to this day. How's Iman doing?
Yeah.
It's not a coincidence.
Yeah, the whole point is like you made an impact on somebody.
Right.
Like you have the opportunity to, you have so many experiences like that most people will never have to actually make an impact on someone's life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like through physical wellness, through performance and strength conditioning. And, like that matters. You know what I mean? Like I think they get caught up in this logo fucking chasing, ego chasing. Like right. I get it. Like it's a fun profession. It's cool to learn and cool to work with elite athletes or anything else. But I think it's way cooler to build elite athletes, like from the ground up, knowing that you had a more robust impact on their development, but also be like help shape good character, help create connections and community where they feel at home, like they want to be there. Because at some point, like these elite athletes are eventually going to retire. Right. Can they look back on their experiences through the training aspect that's literally going to carry on the rest of their life? Because this isn't going anywhere. Being like, yeah, like I had a great experience in the weight room and training and everything else. That like now when I go into this next phase of my life where I'm not an athlete, I still enjoy doing it. I still remember the impact I had. I still remember the experiences I had. I can look back fondly and I want to keep doing that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think it's like that long game that they can't really see the forest or the trees quite yet. But, it makes a big difference. And I think now too, I think it's a good like kind of segue, but I think now too is how do we kind of collaborate with the academics, like the academia side of things, because we get a lot of interns that come through like a master's program, and this is like a part of their placement. So our internship lines up really well with their placement. And we've had some experience with other institutions, right? Other institutions that they're just not on the ball with how they run, in my opinion anyway, how they run their programs, right? But the ones we've been fortunate to work with this, the past couple of years, I think they're more on the ball for sure. But it's like, where's that disconnect? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's something that's missing to kind of, especially in this industry, again, because they have to cover a wide range of scopes based on where their students are kind of heading, because they don't really know themselves. Totally understandable. But I feel there's a lot of opportunity for, especially in this field, to prepare them more for the practical side of things than, I would say other professions.
And the skills are so transferable from this learning experience to any other facet of this field, like we kind of mentioned too, right?
Yeah. It's, at least for us, it's like, okay, we'll use the not so great institution as just an example. You're competing with, a lot of local institutions that have degree programs or post-grad programs. And if any kid that doesn't know anything that's on paper, if they had a choice between like some sort of post-grad certificate and like a master's program, just on paper, you're probably going to go the master's route. Like they're both 1 year long. You're probably going to go the master's route just because on paper it's a master's.
Because in their mind, what's a future employer going to think?
Exactly. And totally understandable. It's like master's looks better than something else just to kind of keep the resume on the pile. Not even like go through the competency stuff. Just on paper to get you to the door, you're probably picking the master's. It's like, okay. But in this profession, you could argue that strength conditioning really is more like a trade, where it's like it's the hands-on stuff. You have to know the theoretical side. You have to know all the academia behind it. But it's really going to be more of a trade. You get better with the practice you're doing on the floor, working with people, constantly improving and adapting your coaching style and your programming style. So it's like knowing that, it's like I think the institution had an opportunity to be like, okay, we're competing with this, but we could really dominate in this one realm by just having people that are interested be really hands-on with this experience.
Yeah, let's highlight how and why we're unique.
Yeah, it's like, you don't have to compete with them. Like you're probably like on paper, you're probably not going to be able to compete with them because of the, degree status they hold, but you can still make something that where you have a higher chance of your students graduating into the field and being successful in one realm. It's like that is enough to draw in more students to do the same thing. It's no different than how any business operates, right? It's like, hey, we have great people that have great experiences, more great people tend to come.
Right.
Right. It's because they heard that they get good results, and of course they have a great experience doing it. So it's a natural like ripple effect.
Right. And to your point too, I guess like we have people coming in here and saying, well, there's this gym down the street, that other gym down the street. What do you do that they don't do? And I'm like, I don't have a clue what they do. They probably do great work. I have no idea. But this is what all I can tell you is this is what we do and this is what we're proud of and here's the results we've gotten. So to your point, yeah, like one institution doesn't even have to, try to tear down another one. It's just like, hey, no idea, probably also great. This is why we are very proud of the product we put together and why it'd be a good fit for you type thing. Right?
Yeah, it's not about burning bridges. You're just building a better one.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to the academic side of things, it's kind of like know where your niche are. Like if you have a bunch of students that are curious about, let's say, strength conditioning, set them up for success in the fact that they're going to have good placement experiences that's going to help them practice. No different than like a trade. Like if you're an electrician and you're in school to be an electrician, you'll probably do an apprenticeship. You'll work hands-on in the field with, qualified electricians or plumbers or whatever. And you're spending time hands-on doing the thing, and then you write your exam. It's like, okay, that was more the easy part than doing the hands-on stuff, right? So now you go to like the master's institution where it's like literally their whole master's program is built around placement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have a few classes, but they have 3 unique placement opportunities across a year.
That's one of the best things they probably do is that they force the students to have 3 unique, all relevant to kinesiology, but like 3 unique experiences. So they really broaden their horizons, right?
Yeah. You get to dip your toe for a few weeks in all these different facets of exercise science, kinesiology, performance, what have you. I think that's something that really set them apart is because this other institution just didn't bother to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? They kind of fell to the wayside and just kind of did the woe was me thing. It's like, well, you had opportunities to capitalize, but now they're just going at a faster pace than you because they're not afraid to do those things. Like they're constantly adjusting year after year, and they're doing a great job helping students kind of get into those different fields and experiences.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think too is, depending on the student populace that comes into your cohorts. Okay, if you have like 25 students and 15 are trying to go the physio route, yeah, it's a little trickier to kind of like set those parameters. Like if they kind of already know where they want to go, you know what I mean? Like I think give them the option to do more placement experience in that, I guess, environment versus like you have to go here, you have to go there type thing. It's like at that point, I'm kind of like, well, if you have 3 placements in a school year, just as an example, let them do 2 out of 3 in the place they really want to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the scope they want to focus on. Let them do a lot more time in there. And then I'm sure they'll learn out the first one if it's for them or not.
And then they'll still let that third one broaden their perspective,
you know what I mean?
see it through a new lens totally.
Yeah. So I think, and I had this conversation too with Andrew. She's awesome. She's at Brock, like I don't know what she's like, what is she, the supervisor? Not the supervisor. I don't know what her title is.
And Honcho.
Coordinator, maybe?
I don't really know technically,
but coordinator.
Beast.
We sat down, did an interview for this kind of stuff too. And we were talking about like the disconnect between like university programs and like the actual experience in the field.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a big disconnect was that it is so textbook and theoretical. And unfortunately, a lot of the profs that are teaching these things, they don't actually, at least for this particular field, a lot of them aren't actually coaching or doing that thing. They're really good academics. Like they do a lot of research studies, they're in a lab, all that kind of stuff.
Based on the physiology, this is what should happen.
Yeah, which is
cool. But who have you trained to do that?
Yeah, time and place.
Well, I haven't.
Yeah, time and place, totally acceptable. It's like if you're having students try to learn more about the practical side of things, it's like you're gonna have to want to have people that do the things. That's why there's so many guest speakers that people will go see. Like even our own like continuing education, we're traveling to see and listen to different coaches that have hands-on experience, boots on the ground experience, train these different populations, working with these different people, working at these different levels. And like I would say their word and their experience is more valuable than, I would argue, at least for what we do, more than what our profs would do, just because these are people doing the thing. And this is like their own experience that we can kind of tie back to.
Yeah, the surface levels that we've all read the textbooks. Yeah. Then we go straight to the horse's mouth and be like, but how did you apply all that info?
Yeah, that's
and what was your context? Oh, cool. Okay, I'm going to put that in my back pocket when I have the same context. Then you go over here. How did this other coach do the same, right? We all read the same super training, and we all read the bio textbook and the physiology. But how did you take that and filter it down into a training program that garnered results for a certain population in certain contexts? Cool, thanks. I'm going to take that with me. When I have a similar context, then I'll lean on that.
Yeah.
Right? That's like to your point. You a conjugate guy? You a triphasic guy? I'm a results guy.
Yeah. So what's the results?
Based on the context, I'm going to apply what I think is fit at the time. That's in the best interest of my client and go from there.
Yeah. I think as we get like deeper in the weeds, it's not even so much of like what they know. It's like, well, how would you apply what you know?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, going down to Florida the one time, there's some good good tidbits, some good nuggets there, and then there's some you're like, okay, well, I would probably do it differently. Like I know who you're working with, but like just based on what I'm seeing, yeah, like maybe it works for you, but I can probably do that a little differently, and this is why I probably do it differently. But it was nice to know your point of view. You know what I mean? It was good to hear how you do it. If it works for you, great. But now you start asking like, well, how would you do it? And then you can start making better decisions from your own experience. Like, well,
Yeah.
I've seen this work too, and I find this might be a little more practical or whatever, right? It's not right or wrong. It's just, oh, that works for you, great. But you have the experience to be like, let's just say you have more experience so you can choose what not to do and why.
Yeah.
Versus just, oh, so-and-so did it, therefore I'm going to do it. It's like, well.
That's a big part of our own evolution even. Like I don't care, I can admit it. I remember the first summer strong we went to, we come back, everyone's on the hands assisted safety bar, split squat with the floating heel. Everyone's doing the push down your toes so you're growing stronger with the other thumb and all that. And it is valuable stuff, totally. But it was a big eye-opener hearing Stu McMillan at the Speed Conference say, like, he mentioned every single thing that we learned that day, and he was like, none of it matters. And I'm waiting for that. I'm like, oh my God,
Where's the punchline?
Someone's going to punch this guy. Like, and then he said, until you understand how it fits together. And I was like, there's the punchline. Yeah. He's like, this new concept, that new concept, 10 different things. None of them matter in isolation until you see how they fit. And he said, if you go home and try to apply all these things at once, you're going to ruin your athletes. And I was like, okay, thank you. Like, that was a breath of fresh air to be like.
Yeah, being honest.
Yeah, like years of experience now and like kind of realizing that on your own. But to hear a guy like Stu say it was obviously a little bit of validation, right, of that concept.
Yeah, so now it's like, how do you translate that from academia into our student interns? It's right. Like, that's kind of the whole point, right? Like, we have students that did our internship first in their first semester and they do something else the next semester. And their feedback is it's not the same, right? Because at these placements, they're not really learning or doing there's not a lot of experiential learning. It's a lot of like observation or like the very bare basic things. And I totally understand to a degree because there's only so many things they're qualified to do.
Right.
They're not certified, not hired, et cetera, right? Because there's less liability. So for us, it's like, well, no different than us. Like, we have to really be picky and choosy if they're going to coach a team because obviously teams pay us to do a certain job to a certain standard.
Totally.
So it has to be an earned experience, and they have to demonstrate competency enough that we can feel comfortable.
Right.
But like, really, the time for them to thrive and show is going to be like, let's go through your case study. Like, while you're helping us on the floor, like, how are you helping the floor? Like, are you learning these people's names? Are you establishing some like groundwork, which is going to make it easier for us to transition some more responsibility to you?
Or do you have your hands in your pockets or you're fucking checking your phone?
Yeah, like, you have your hands in your pockets, you're just kind of fucking around, you're just not, are you not evolving week to week? Like, those basic things, right? So, I think if there's anything I'd like possible interns to hear, it's going to be like, this field can be grueling, this field can be there's a lot of unknowns that we'll never figure out. Not in my lifetime. There's a lot of things we're never going to know. You're going to learn about all these systems and theories that they all work, but then they actually, it's ironic because they also conflict if you try to apply them. Like what one coach might do, another coach might do, might conflict in terms of, their concepts, but they both work on their own. They both got results. So it's neither is like right or wrong. It's just, you learn all these systems, you learn all these applications of it. Just, if you're looking for a simple black and white answer, you're never going to get it.
Yeah, you're in the wrong field.
You're in the wrong field. This is not accounting. It's not like, law where things are written. It's going to be like, hey, it's physiology and you're dealing with humans. You're trying to take a chaotic system of people that have lives and things going on, and you have them maybe for like an hour to 3 hours or so a week total, and you're going to have an opportunity to make some form of impact, and you have to find the best way with certain constraints, but there's not like a right answer to do it. It's like, what might be a good enough solution for the constraints we're currently working with? Right? And can you continue to evolve on these constraints? Like, build up enough of a toolbox where you could start to create archetypes like, oh, I've seen this before. I've seen I've seen this situation before. I've seen this kind of person before. I've seen this kind of team before. I've tried this program with this person. This actually worked really well. This might be a good fit for them too with a couple tweaks. So it's really just trying to get closer grouping in terms of that, but you're never going to have a black and white answer. So I think for a lot of interns, like, if this is something you really want to do, you have to be like fucking passionate about training.
Yeah, it's not a hobby.
It's not a hobby. Like, I'm not saying you have to be the most athletic or most jacked person. Like, that's besides the point. It's just like, do you get excited with the opportunity to train? Whether it's yourself, whether it's helping somebody else, like, do you actually like training? Like, do you actually like the weight room? Do you actually like, being on the turf, like on the court, whatever it is? Like, do you just like being in that like physical preparation realm? And if it's not something you're passionate about or something that really like gets you somewhat excited, you're in the wrong field, man. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's gonna be days like you're just like, fuck, I don't want to train. It's like, it's beside the point. It's like, over the long term, can you have some sort of excitement? Like, I'm looking forward to to training. I'm looking forward to trying that. I'm looking forward to getting on the bar. Like, are you actively doing it on yourself? And then looking to help someone else to have the same experience.
Right.
So, if you're not passionate about it, find a different field. Like, if you want to be a researcher at, go be a researcher at. Like, go do that. That's fine. People need bricklayers, man. Go do that. Like, that's a perfectly good environment for you. If you're more about the data, the numbers, there's a spot for you, but it's probably not going to be on the floor. It's probably going to be like behind the scenes, like analyzing all these things and trying to come up with theories and stuff. And then the strength coach will take it and do what they want to do with it, right?
Kind of a weird shift. I feel like I'm seeing now, and I could be wrong, but I feel like you're seeing more and more students who are like very enamored with all the tech stuff and the data and analyzing the data, but who have no idea how they would then implement a training intervention to fix or improve the data. Yeah. Which I guess if you just want to be a sports scientist, maybe that's okay. But even then, I feel like a lot of the best sports scientists you see in a lot of these programs were or are strength coaches concurrently, and they kind of see both sides of it. I think those are the guys and the girls that are the most successful with it.
Yeah, but I think that's why the shift of these like sports science or tech companies that are creating like the plates, they're creating the gates and everything else like that. They're trying to make it so accessible and so practical to implement,
right? Because
they know that it's the strength coaches that have the most questions because they're the ones doing the thing and they want better ways to quantify why something isn't going the direction they want. Right? For sports scientists, just like take the data, compile it, and say, based on the things that we've just compiled, X, Y, Z. Say, great, so what do you do with it? They might not know. They'd be like, well, all we know is this group here had this group here had this seemed to have a correlation to this. How do we build on that? I don't really know.
I don't know. That's your job.
That's your job.
And honestly, that is fine. If that's the understood
that's fine.
Working relationship, that's fine. But I think the most successful ones will kind of be able to do both.
Yeah, but it all started from people that are doing boots on the ground work, looking for a better way to find the answer.
Yeah. I think I see something, but how can I quantify it? How can I measure it?
Exactly. And so I think now the issue is, too, a lot of interns get drawn into the tech side of things. Like, ooh, they have speed gates. Ooh, they have force plates. Ooh, they have this. And that's great. Like, it's fantastic you have those resources to practice on. But if they get lost in the sauce where their whole role is to say, yeah, jump on the plates, take the spreadsheet. Jump on the plates, take the spreadsheet. They're really good at using the plates, but they have no idea what to do with the information they're collecting, essentially.
Like, what a boring 30, 40-year career, right?
Well, it's just fuck. It's just like the whole point is making an impact. The data is important.
Yeah.
It can be very valuable, right? If you know what the purpose of collecting the data was and then what it can tell you to then implement moving further. But if not, we've had interns too, like, oh, I know how to use force plates. Oh, yeah, I know how to use spreadsheets. I know this. Okay.
Cool. Can you coach a push-up?
No.
Can you coach a bodyweight squat?
They can't do shit.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they have no idea. They're like, oh, well, I know how to make this graph. I know how to do this. Like, okay, and so what? Well, I don't know what else to do with it. You're like, well, that's a problem. But again, they get kind of drawn in to all the bells and whistles, right? And that's fine. Like I said, if you have those resources, absolutely, like advertise it so you have people that get excited to participate. But like I said, we do have a responsibility as mentors to prepare them for what the position is going to entail.
Right.
Whatever setting you're mentoring them in. If it's the collegiate side of things, prepare them to be good collegiate coaches. If you're in the private sector, prepare them to be good whatever, right? And they could have a broad, diverse range of skills within that. But that's our responsibility. I think a big part of that, like initially from week one, is like, hey, we've really hammered down with our internship the pre-work, like your onboarding checklist, your handbook, attention to detail. You're sent all these things, all these documents. Some of it's boring and red tape type stuff, but here's like the schedule of things you're going to learn and expectations. Here's what to expect in your first week. Here's what to expect in your first month.
And not only the handbook, but the coaching playbook too.
Yeah, like they get so many resources of materials that we put together just based on experience, and that can help them run efficient sessions with any demographic, and then how to program with any demographic. So they have a ton of resources because like those are going to help you gain some know-how and some good starting points so you can start building your own stuff, and you can always add your own flair to it as you go. Versus just coming in like, okay, we're going to learn all the theories and all the cool stuff. Like, I'm sure collegiate internships do like lectures and stuff too, but they talk about like Caldese or they talk about whatever, the same probably shit we could talk about too. But how do you apply it in your own way? Do they have the experience or the opportunities to, okay, take that system and apply it in this scenario? What would you do?
Right.
Build me a program using these systems with an athlete that looks like this. What would you do? If they don't do that, it's like, well, then all the shit you just learned is kind of useless now.
Right.
Because you like saw how someone else do it, But if your response is, if someone asks you, like if your athlete asks you, like, oh, why are we doing eccentric, isometric, concentric? Oh, because that's Cal Dietz. Cal Dietz did really good with hockey players doing this. And you're just like,
The
well,
kid's like, who?
or
The kid's like, who the hell's that?
who the hell is that? Or better yet, I was like, well, why the fuck am I training with you? Why don't I just go train with him?
Yeah.
He's the one that fucking knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
You're just regurgitating.
Right.
Right? So I'm not saying there's not value of learning it, but there's got to be another layer to it where it's like, okay, here's this, but how would you apply it? Show me what you would do. Like there has to be an opportunity to make mistakes and practice their own thought process into doing it, right? And we see that with our own interns too. Like we've had some issues where they'll make the same mistakes over and over again. You're like, okay, we've talked about this. You have a new opportunity every week to refine and make a better program, or you have a new opportunity to make a better plan or a better attempt, and you're doing the same things over and over again. It's like, okay, now what the hell are we doing now? You know what I mean? I don't think it's a lack of resources or a lack of opportunity to ask questions. Like we literally have.
I would put my whole life on the fact that there's not another internship in this region that's providing the same amount of resources that we're providing. Not only the time, not only the expectations, the curriculum, but the resources that these interns can take away with them they can take with them for the rest of their career and reference in these guides that they can use. There's not another facility in the region that's even touching close to what we're providing.
It's crazy. It's like we're getting more recognition. People are finding us from all over the world now for internships.
Yeah, just this week.
Yeah, just this week.
Florida by way of Mexico.
Yeah, there's a young woman that's at a university in Florida, originally from Mexico, and she's looking for an internship experience, and she's typed up good opportunities on the internet, and our stuff pops up in the top 5. You're like, okay, and like we're like a smaller place in the region, but yet people across the world are like finding us. Like we had a girl from Bahamas or Barbados, whatever, right? Find us as well. So it's like people are seeking these opportunities, and our stuff's popping up as like a credible place to do it because we put more time, more energy, and we invest a lot of resources into our student group so that they have the best opportunities to develop and become good coaches versus just you have a logo, and because we are a logo, you should just do it here because of that. It's like, well, that doesn't mean you're going to be a good coach. Like we've seen a lot of university coaches that just because they wear the logo of the institution, they're not really good coaches, by standpoint. So you're like, okay, so we know it's not that. And ironically, everyone will talk about that too. Oh, it's not just a logo on the chest, right? It's like, yeah, but you say that, but you're also.
But you act like it is.
But then you act like it is. So it's like you can't have it both ways, right?
It's ironic too because it's funny how many amazing peers we've met at an event like Summer Strong, who a lot of them are at small schools you maybe never heard of, and then next year they get hired at like a big Power 5 school. Like, are they valid now? No, they were always valid. They were always the same hard worker. Like, so that like they've earned that. That's amazing. You're happy for them. You're moving up the ladder, so to speak. But it's like you're still the same great coach you always were. Now, unfortunately, socially, people just see you as a higher pedigree now because you have some SEC school on your chest or something, right?
Yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's cool. To me, it's like, who cares, man? Like, the kids don't care. Ironically, I would argue that the higher up in those bigger schools, you just naturally have a better athletic population to work with. So,
well, and the resources are absolutely unbelievable what you would have access to as well, right?
Yeah. So it's like you have these phenomenal athletes now coming in. So it's like really to say you develop them into elite athletes, like, well, I think that's a harder sell now because really your job is you should go thank the scouts.
Yeah, straight up.
Go thank the scouts. Be like, hey, scouts, thank you so much for giving us this group. These guys can fucking run fast. They can jump high. We made my job a lot easier just because you recruited really well. Right. Versus these smaller schools that might have like middle of the pack players. Like they have an opportunity now to like really kind of set them apart from the middle group. And I think that's me personally, I think that's a more satisfying part of the profession, right? Like no different than training like high school athletes or pro athletes. Like both are awesome to work with. But if I had to argue which one you're probably going to have a more profound impact on, it's probably going to be the younger group because you're actually teaching them and building up skills that's going to set them up for success later on.
Totally.
Versus if you have like a very elite group, they got there minus your help. Like they didn't need you to do the thing they're doing, right? They didn't really rely on you to do that. Like they're with you now when they're already like scholarship. They're already with you now when they're pro. Your job is really just to keep them doing what they're doing at a high level so they don't get fucked up.
Right.
Which is admirable too. But to say if you had to gauge where you're going to have a bigger impact, I would argue probably on the lower end of the spectrum with the younger athletes or probably at smaller schools where you have more flexibility because you have more raw humans where you can build qualities that might have a more profound impact on their performance compared to students that are already like recruited for the skills they currently possess.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit different, but nonetheless, I think we just have to kind of back away from this whole I validate myself because of what logo is on my top left chest this year.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not helping.
Because then if you end up if you're in like a Power 5 school and then for whatever reason, life brings you to a Power 4 school the next year, maybe it's actually a family thing, like your family, you just got to move closer to home or your spouse or something, now you're at a Power 4 school, like, did you get worse overnight? No. So if it doesn't work the one way, it can't work the other way either, right?
Yeah, it's...
Or then you go to private. You see a lot of them go to private for whatever reason. Like, did that make you better or worse? No, it didn't do either. You're still the same coach.
Yeah.
Different requirements now, but...
Yeah, we know coaches that went from, like, collegiate to pro, and they went back to collegiate because I didn't feel I was making an impact at the pro level.
Yeah, collegiate to pro too, yeah.
Yeah, they went collegiate to pro, and like I just didn't feel like I was making the impact at pro, so I came back down to a smaller college school where I feel like more fulfilling, right? It's like, it just depends on like what you're in it for and like what your kind of like North Star is. But as long as you kind of know that, you can make an impact pretty much anywhere, as long as that's like your main focus. If you're literally just trying to chase moving up the ladder, it's going to be a short career for you.
Well, it's ironic too, because for kids out there that value so-and-so works at a university, it's like, yeah, but we've both had university job offers that we've, like humbled that would come my way, but like declined it for certain personal reasons. So it's like, so what if I would have took that job that would have validated me more? Like, of course not, right?
Yeah.
So it's just one aspect, but it's like kind of makes you laugh when it's like.
Yeah, I think it just comes with experience too. Like the more experience you get, the more I think you just have to have more impact on people. The more you start working with the people that kind of are, be where your feet are. You're working with those people, you make an impact. It's like, that's the whole point. The more you do that, I think it really just makes those other things like more fleeting, which is like, okay, it's not really the point. Like this doesn't matter as much as I thought it. Maybe it mattered when I was younger or whatever it was, but like really it does not matter anymore. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna tell me like Ben Prentice is fucking not satisfied or not validated because he's a private sector guy, but he also works with some of the best hockey players in the fucking world.
Is there like 100 NHL jerseys on that wall or something? And like all household names?
Yeah, so it's like, but he's not working with a pro team. He's not hired by an institution, so he's not good. Like, full of shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Thibodeau, another example, like fucking phenomenal, but he's not working collegiate, so it's like, but people pay him $20,000 a weekend.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not just this logo validating thing, because there's a lot of collegiate strength coaches that can't coach the way of a paper bag. Right. They just happen to be in a good circumstance, they know somebody.
Right.
And then, oh yeah, thought of a name, pulled them up, they're there now, right? But it's not just the place that hire that makes you valid. Like, there's a lot of institutions that hire like subpar coaches.
Yeah, a lot of times it's like a good old boys club too. It's who you know. It's a little
huge
bit nepotism, even if it's not family, but nepotism. It's funny, like I can name 100 coaches I look up to, but in the beginning, that's kind of partially too why I started looking up to Joe DeFranco, because he was kind of known as a guy who would help guys make the NFL who like weren't supposed to make it. Like they started calling him the Pro Maker. He would have Division III guys.
That's a good title.
Yeah, like literally, you look it up, Joe DeFranco, the Pro Maker, because they'd be like Division III football guys you never heard of, and then he helps them run like a stupid 40. Next thing you know, they have an NFL contract, play for like 5 years, 10 years, whatever, right? Or these like small school guys. He was like, yeah, I've had some of these high profile guys too, but his thing was really taking people you've never fucking heard of, and next thing you know, they're playing on Sundays for like years to come, right? Like to me, I'm like to your point about impact.
Yeah, that's huge.
Taking a high school kid up to the pros, or even in his case, like taking these unknown guys you never heard of who are from like, nowhere USA, and next thing you know, they're playing on your TV every Sunday. Like that's impact.
Huge. Like you can't argue that.
Right.
That's like if someone were to say like, well, you didn't build them. Like no, like you developed that person. Like they were not even getting sniffed, and all of a sudden you somehow they changed their whole archetype to like fit NFL archetype.
Right.
And
last.
That's
the thing too. Get there and last for multiple years. Like
so
that's what I started looking up to initially, because I'm like, damn, that's impact.
It is, but I think that takes time in the field to actually kind of figure that out, right?
Yeah.
It takes the right environment. So I kind of like circling back to like the internship. It's like depending on the semester, they're kind of here, right? They might get exposure to a lot of high school teams.
That's another unique benefit too. Actually, it's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, like it depends on the semester here. Like if you're in the fall or winter semesters, you get exposure to a lot of different high school type teams or club type teams, right? You might work with different age groups. And then in the summertime, you're going to see a whole cohort of like different athletes at the university or college or even pro level at different sports and backgrounds all throughout the day. And then of course, pro basketball guys as well. So you get like a different experience every semester, right? But nonetheless, the whole point of it is going to be is like, can you make an impact on them and help them get closer where they're trying to get to in preparations for whatever the season, next season, all that kind of stuff. So you really have a unique opportunity to see something you really typically wouldn't see in like collegiate setting, right? Because you could argue if you're in the collegiate sector, it's like depending on what college or whatever university, that might be the end of the line for a lot of them. And that's fine. Like that's how it is, right? Like a couple athletes might go past college, university, but for the most part, you have them for 4 or 5 years, and then they're done. In our setting, it's like you're going to have them probably for like 4 or 5 years, and then they typically will be striving for whatever, because we have athletes from like D1 schools that have pro potential. You have high school athletes trying to get to the university level or go from university or high school to pro. So you're going to have a whole conglomerate of people that are striving for something just greater than their college or university careers. Whereas college, university, like that is kind of like the pinnacle for them. Like I said, that's fine, but it's just different. You know what I mean?
In a room where you also have people trying to get off diabetes meds, trying to get ready for their wedding, trying to feel better so they can play with their kids. Like, that's kind of the unique aspect too, is that you're getting all that elite performance stuff concurrently with all these people just trying to live their best life, as cheesy as it sounds. But I think that's really the unique aspect as well too, is that we have everybody, and we have all those people. It's funny too, we have all those people training in the same room.
Yep.
Some people look and think it needs to be separated, but to be honest, like that's where a lot of the best bonds are formed, is when those barriers kind of get broken down and the athletes and non-athletes train and support each other.
Yeah, I think we bounced around this in the earlier days, implementing the new model we have like years ago.
Yeah.
And it turned out, it was like, what were you afraid of? It's like, I think it's refreshing for both aspects, right? Like you have regular folks trying to stay healthy, just have fun, stay in shape, chase their own objectives. And they're in a room with people that, might be getting fucking pro contracts, might be in the university level. They get to communicate with athletes of that and kind of hear their stories, and vice versa. It's refreshing for the athletes to just kind of like unplug from the pressures and demands of always being asked about, sports and their preparation. They get to have a conversation with somebody who's just living life and having a great time. You know what I mean? So
it gives the athletes a good kick in the ass sometimes too.
Because you see Gen Pop like outworking them.
There's times in the room they look over at certain people. Oh, what's that guy training for? And I'm like, life.
Just trying to kick life's ass.
What's she training for? I'm like, be her best self. Damn, that lady's deadlifting 300 pounds. That guy's got 275 on the incline Swiss bar press for what? I'm like, so he can be his best version. They're like, oh man, I gotta step it up, right? So like those are some profound moments as well that in a lot of weight rooms that just wouldn't happen because those worlds don't collide.
Yeah, they don't mesh. I think like Shaq's a great example. Shaq was here getting ready for his European season.
Yeah.
Just a few weeks ago, he sees like fucking Lucas doing crazy shit, or he sees like Dave doing crazy shit, or Alex doing crazy shit, and she's a fucking beast. He's like, fuck. He's like, yeah, like those are just people. He's like, man, I wish I was fucking doing that when I was fucking.
Yeah, Alex sets up over 10 chin-ups. She can do like I think probably 40 push-ups in a row or something, so that she can go in a courtroom and be her best self as a lawyer.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that actually helps support her lifestyle and her energy and her whatever. But people just automatically think it's athletic performance because it's Iron Performance Center. But performance doesn't just mean it has to be in an athletic arena, right?
No, it's performing in whatever realm that you choose to dominate in.
Right.
So I think it's a refreshing perspective. But anyway, circling back all the way to the internship stuff, I think in summary, it's kind of like what makes it unique is the opportunities presented to actually make something that's applicable, not just theoretical, but you actually have the guardrails to practice, make mistakes, and get collaborative feedback to then be prepared. The whole point is after 12 weeks, you should be confident enough to walk into any weight room and coach any athlete and be confident in your abilities to plan, coach, implement, execute to achieve a desired outcome.
Right.
Right. If you couldn't do that, assuming you gave it your best effort, we failed.
Right.
We fucking failed.
That's what the interns sometimes don't realize too, is that we're like, when you leave this experience and you go apply somewhere, you're probably going to put our name on your resume, and that has to mean something, right? So when you go, the more popular this internship gets, when you go and you hand that resume across the table, and it says, I Performance Center internship completed this date to this date, the interviewer is either going to go, oh, right? Or they're going to go, oh, what's that? So, of course, we're looking for that first. We want that impact. We want that oh.
Yeah,
like, that tells a story when you haven't even said a single word yet. And right beside it, you're going to hand your folder over, your portfolio. Here's all my programs I've written, my blogs I've written. Here's my social media I've tried to develop. Here's my blogs I've written. Like, that's what's hoping to set yourself apart. There's nothing more frustrating than we have a prospective coach come in here and apply and say, you should hire me because I have a kin degree and I like helping people. Yeah, that's like you paid your cover to get in the club, brother. Like you and fucking everybody else. What sets you apart?
I walk and chew gum. Hire me.
But imagine somebody came in and handed that portfolio over. You'd be like, okay, you're not hired right on the spot, but hey, you know what? I'm actually excited about this interview now because interviews can be a drag sometimes.
Oh, huge.
But you see that come in, you're like, God damn, like maybe we're cooking something here.
Yeah, I came prepared.
Totally. Even if I don't even agree with everything that's in this thing, at least I know you give a shit.
Yeah, there's effort.
Totally.
You could say there's some effort. I think one piece of advice: if there's any interns that come through our program, just for the love of God, just do the curriculum. Just do everything. Like some things will be marked, some things are not going to be marked. But it's not. It's marking is besides the point. The mark is just to kind of keep score. The whole point is immerse yourself in all aspects of the curriculum, the readings, watch the videos and tutorials, do the portfolio projects, right? Do your case studies. The more you do all those things, and there's going to be some things that are uncomfortable. Like any of us that are like behind the camera trying to educate somebody, like, how do you think we got good at?
Oh, first couple times you feel like an idiot.
Holy fuck. I remember,
none of us are actors. You feel like an absolute idiot.
Like I'm a huge, like going back to my very first blog I ever wrote. And the only reason I ever started writing a blog was like I was talking to John Goodman, who's fantastic in the field of personal training and development. He's like, just blog. He's like, you need to be able to take whatever you're learning and write it so your target audience can understand and apply something. Even if it's not perfect. Your first couple are going to fucking be terrible. Just do it. Like make it a thing to just do it. So I started writing.
No one's going to read the first couple anyways.
No one fucking read it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, share on social media. Everyone kind of likes it and everything else, but they don't actually fucking read it. That's not the point. The point was like I was getting better at taking my own thoughts and conforming them so I can make it, I can explain it like I was 5 years old to somebody so they can take it and apply it to something else. And the funny thing is time and time again, next thing you know, right, now we're author for like Team Builder, right, where they pay us to write shit.
Right.
Anytime we submit something, like it's like, yeah, here, just write this, boom, we write an article. They want us a part of projects to educate coaches, but like we never would have had those opportunities if we didn't actually just start writing about what we know and our experience and simplifying it so it's easier to digest for people that might need it.
Yeah, part of the small interview process for that position was like, hey, send me some stuff you've written before.
Boom.
Imagine you went, whoa, I got nothing, but trust me, I can do it. I can do it. I'm telling you.
So it's like, really, if our interns just immerse themselves in the experience, they will learn skills that are uncomfortable. The first couple of videos you fucking make for educating, it's like, it's terrible. You're stuttering. You have to take 5-10 takes. Just
the first time I remember 100%, I can remember the video I made it, like this kind of hip banded stretch. It genuinely took me an hour, which would today probably take me 1, maybe 2 takes.
Yeah, like you get really good at it, but it takes practice getting comfortable just explaining. But it all goes back to you have all this knowledge, you have all this experience, you've been learning. Can you just formulate and simplify it for like one person to take it and do something? If you can't do that, you're kind of fucking up. But you need practice. So like practice behind the camera, practice talking about whatever you want to talk about. It's like here's a couple things that I would do if like this. We see athletes like this. I'm gonna walk you through a sample, whatever. Do that, but you need practice doing it. A lot of our interns, I think, just kind of glaze over that shit. It's like we present, to coaches. We do webinars. We present to athletes. We present to other coaches, whatever. It's like, but how do you think we got comfortable doing those things and actually getting the opportunities to do those things? It's because we've made a whole bunch of lectures and materials before and presented on them. We got better as we went, and we just refined the presentations. We refined like our field trips. We have, SHSM experiences for high school students and teachers. Like they all love their field trip and their educational experiences because we've done a lot of practice doing it organically through our own channels. And now we do organically and just apply it to an audience. But if you don't even have any practice doing it on your own in front of a camera to nobody, how are you going to do it to a crowd of like 30, 40 people who are looking at you to kind of give them some sound experiential advice or learn something? You can't.
Experiential, that's the biggest thing because you're going to, when you're done that presentation, what are you going to say? You're going to say, all right, guys, any questions? And if you have no experience, they start asking questions, you're not going to be able to answer. So that's the thing. It's like, it's kind of an age-old thing like, well, a job wants me to have experience, but I'm so young. Where am I supposed to get the experience? In this industry, it needs to start with yourself. You yourself have to bend the bar. You yourself have to get calluses. That's like the callus test, right?
Oh, yeah.
In the past, we still kind of maybe do it as a joke, but in the past, when you meet a intern, for those watching this podcast who kind of get a little bit of a chuckle, but if not, you can just picture it. And it would be like that. You go for that handshake, and then you kind of flip it, right? If there's no calluses on that hand,
toast. You're
not about this life, and it's just not going to work out, and that's okay. I don't love you any less. I don't respect you any less. I'm just telling you, this is not the job for you. It's just not the career path. So to start, because it might be like, well, that's why I'm at the internship. I'm trying to get experiential learning. I don't have any. Totally valid, right? You're young. Until you get to this age, there's really no way you can intern. Start with yourself.
Yeah.
Try a ton of stuff on yourself. Write programs for your buddies for free. We've had like university students text us and be like, hey, I want to start charging people for programming. Like, what's my worth? I'm like, well, what are you worth? Or what should I charge? I'm like, well, what's your worth? You haven't trained anybody. So why don't you start for free? That's how I started. I was training the boys for free. Didn't know what the hell I was doing, but getting feedback, that's the best way you can learn that's the best way you can apply what you're learning, and then you learn from that experience, right? So the biggest thing to start is getting your own hands dirty, trying a bunch of different training, and then obviously once experiences like this come up, you can apply, and then that's what you can kind of lean on. But
yeah, they need to just dive into the extra stuff that's written. Like it's literally in the handbook. Like
Yeah.
any interns listening to this who want to do it, immerse yourself in experience. The projects and everything else might seem like, oh God, it's more work. It's like, yes, but it's literally opportunities to practice on yourself. Anytime you do your case studies, we have interns that write case studies, get feedback, mistakes are made. The biggest thing we'll tell them is like, go do what you wrote.
Yeah.
Go do what you just wrote. Go in the weight room and do the exact program you just wrote.
Yeah,
and
3
let
by
me
5
know.
back squat, 90%.
Yeah, go ahead. Go do that.
I don't even think you're going to get one set, but let's see what happens.
Go find out.
Yeah.
Go find out, right? Go to the program you wrote. Like, would you do this program and see? Like, if I'm telling my athletes, like, I always say, well, I would never have my athletes or my people do something that I myself haven't done.
Right.
Right? If it's a new exercise, if it's a new rep scheme, it's like, I want to make sure that I have done it myself so I can feel it. So when they give feedback or like, oh, I feel this or I feel that, at least I have a better understanding. Like, okay, I know what you're talking about because I felt that too. Here's how I corrected this. Da, 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 da. They need to just dive into the experience. If you write a case study and you get feedback, go do the fucking program you wrote. Feel it for yourself, and then you'll have a whole new perspective. Like, actually, maybe I wouldn't do this because, or I wouldn't pair these together because this took away from this, or like I was getting cooked, or actually, you know what, I probably should increase this on that because this wasn't enough, blah, blah, blah.
Because in the moment when we give the feedback, they might be like, no, I think it would work.
Go find out.
Then you go try and go, you know what?
Yeah, go find out, right? Like, go write, like, do the blogs, like, practice writing uncomfortable, and like, get feedback on your writing style. Maybe you'll learn something like, okay, I have all those things. How can I actually articulate what I'm trying to say? If you don't have no practice doing that, you're going to be fucked, right? It's like, do the portfolio projects, like practice using the free databases, practice using the exercise toolboxes, practice making like lectures and stuff. Just doesn't have to be long. Just do those things. Like, fuck it up so bad, and like, you'll get a lot of experience. Like, man, that was uncomfortable. Like, I didn't know how to, I was stuttering a lot, or I wasn't really sure how to articulate this point. Like, great, so now you know, right? So that's practice. Go out and get more practice, right? But the ones that kind of just check the box, like, oh yeah, I showed up, I did the reading, I did the quiz, did the case study, got the feedback.
I did the things that were getting marked.
Yeah, I do the things that got marked. It's like, well, fuck, you're kind of missing the whole point.
It's no different than training in the weight room. You will get out what you put in. Okay, so what these interns sometimes don't realize is that as much as it's a 12-week internship, it could also potentially be a 12-week interview process, even if they're not going to end up working here, right? If you come do a 12-week internship, you're being evaluated the entire time, and you do the bare minimum, versus you do everything that's expected of you, and then some independent research, either when we look to hire you or somebody else, you look for a reference letter from us, and you want me to write something?
Yeah.
Right? Make my life easy. Or somebody calls me, like Danielle was applying for a job, and she said, hey, can I use you for a reference? They're going to call you. I said, please. Call me anytime. I'll be and sing your praises. Right? Because she earned it.
Yeah.
Because she did everything that was expected of her and then some. Right? And I could speak to the same thing for multiple interns, but there's some where I'm like,
don't call me.
I don't know how much to say.
Don't call me. Well, it's like, well,
I just don't. I could objectively say, hey, did pretty good on the quizzes, and that's it.
It's more just like, no coach is going to put their integrity on the line to save your ass if you haven't earned it.
Well,
it's like,
exactly.
it comes down to integrity. It's like, I have no problem writing references for certain people, but it's like, if you kind of gave me subpar efforts, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
If someone asks about you, I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to go ahead and just divulge the whole truth, but if they ask, I'm not going to lie.
Can you write me a reference letter? Like, what are you going to say? And I would say, well, what would you expect me to say?
Yeah, like,
I would hope, if I ask somebody for a reference letter that like really knows me, like you or Aiden, like I would hope that I know what the hell it's going to say on it, right?
Yeah.
And I would hope that if it didn't say what I thought it was going to say, I would be very surprised, right? So that's what I would say for these interns. Like, can you write me a reference letter and make it sound good? I'm like, we shouldn't have to ask. you should know that you're like the body of work that you put together. I can do nothing but write you a raving review, right?
Yeah, there just has to be like an understanding. You know what I mean? Like, if you're looking to do an internship here, it's like, know what you're getting into, like, know what's expected. I think, like I said, we have those conversations. I think it's pretty transparent. We don't lie or don't shy away. It's like, it is demanding, but it's trying to prepare you for being exceptional in your field. But it's going to mean you being uncomfortable, probably some new concepts, some new things, and just, you know, new experiences in terms of not just the programming and coaching, but also the outside back end stuff, right? So, you know, I think there's a lot they can learn. There's a lot they should be taken away, but you're going to get out of what you put into it. There has to be an understanding, like, if this is something you want to do, you have to look at all facets of it, right? Like, you're going to have to educate people. You have to be comfortable talking behind the camera. You have to be comfortable writing things to help educate and further expand. Like, if you really want to make an impact, you're going to be furthering the next group of coaches. Like, what if you're an intern, all of a sudden you grow into a position, now you're going to be mentoring other coaches. Like, okay, what would you help them with? But you need experience doing all those other things. That's only going to help that make it easier. So, essentially like all to say, just do the things that are being asked and then try your best to navigate those uncomfortable foreign things because they'll get better. And who knows what opportunities will present themselves if you just do them. Like, again, our own experiences, writing blogs, we're getting hired by Team Builder to write educational pieces for them, right? Like, or their films or their commercials, all that kind of stuff. Then you have, our presentations, we're making tip videos, all this other stuff. And then you have, we're having field trip experiences where people come in to learn, we're looking to put on conferences and webinars, all this kind of things. It's like, okay, great, but we have experiences doing those like groundwork things, getting better over time, and now we have a lot of things already prepared. It makes it so much easier just to kind of stack upon them versus it's 4 and I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's internships. Like, I think in a nutshell. Did I miss anything?
No. You have the best, most comprehensive internship program in the region. I don't care what anybody thinks or says. You're here anyways, the time's passing anyways. You might as well take full advantage of every resource available to you.
Yeah.
Right, straight up.
Yeah, that's...
Keep your hands out of your freaking pockets.
Yeah, keep your fucking hands in your pockets and fucking just be a fucking human being.
That's it.
Be a fucking human being. And like, if you're looking for internship experiences, even if it's not the place for you, like, have an expectation of what you want to get out of it.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I mean?
what we always ask them in the in the interview too, because I'm like, as much as, you need this credit maybe for your school or whatever, I'm like, we're asking a lot of you and we know that. So I'm like, what can we do for you? How can we be our best for you? It's a two-way street, right?
Yeah,
you're giving us a lot of your time, volunteering. How can we be the best for you so that you can walk away and know that you're satisfied with not just checking the box of I got the credit for my school, but what can you leave and be satisfied and say, okay, I learned this and I know that I'm really prepared to go out in the field now. So it is a two-way street.
Yeah, really. It's like, if this is not the place for you, that's fine. But just have some idea of like what you want out of it. Like, if you're going to, because you can get a credit for going to a lot of places,
right?
Just to check the box. Like, you can go fucking full towels and fucking sit there and just
sweep the
floor, observe, and
answer phones if you're lucky.
Sure, that's all well and good. Like, and you'll get the credit. You'll get the same credit as our students getting the same credit, but
you won't get the same experience.
You won't get the same experience. So it's like, if you're going to a place looking for an opportunity to like volunteer and learn, like experiential learning, you should have an expectation of what you hope to get out of it. And ask good questions to see if that place is actually going to help you get closer to those things.
Totally.
If not, that's fine. But then manage expectations accordingly. If you're literally just there like, well, be honest with yourself. Be like, well, I really just want to get the credit. Like, this is not really a field that I'm curious about. I'm more into rehab, but I'm just here to get the credit. Okay, that's fine. This might not be the place for you here, but I'm sure if you go to another gym and just check the box, you'll get the credit too. So you're probably better off going there.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you're trying to like really develop as a coach and develop in strength conditioning, there's no other place you're going to be than here. Right. Again, we have, ironically, like the coordinators and everything else, they almost like try to scare kids away from coming here because of how quote unquote intense it is. But really, it's
we're at the recruitment days. They're like, oh, I heard it's intense. I'm like, isn't that a good thing?
Yeah, it's like that's what you want. It's demanding. I wouldn't say like, yeah, sure, it's intense. You want to call it that, but I'm not going to apologize for it. It's demanding.
Well, the job's demanding.
Exactly. We're preparing you for what's to come. If you're going somewhere else because it's easy, it's like that's fine. Because again, our kids get the same credit as your fucking kids over there. Right? But if you had to put them par for par, like who's a better coach, ours are going to be 10 times better than yours. And
you're doing yourself a disservice as a prospective strength coach because you're really not getting the full picture of what the job looks like.
No.
Because it's not 2 or 3 hour days. It's just not.
No.
Right?
We have to understand there are calibers to this shit. Right? It's like if you're a high school volleyball coach, or are you a collegiate volleyball coach? Are you a pro volleyball coach? Are you a midget hockey coach? Or are you an OHL coach? Right? There are calibers to it. I'm sure you're all skating and shooting a puck on the net. But how are you skating and shooting a puck on the net, right? So there are calibers to placements and internships too. It's like, yes, you're going there and you're checking the box. I showed up, I'm getting the credit. Our guys are checking the box, show up, I'm getting the credit. But it's like, okay, how are they coaching? How are their experiences? How are they learning compared to your people over there? Both get the same credit, but they're going to get way more broad experience and a way more practical sense of how to do things better because they've done those things versus Joe Blow that just showed up, gave some high fives out and fucking check the fucking box.
Right. I would hope our interns would leave here and be able to have that chip on their shoulder and that pat on their own back of, yeah, maybe it was demanding, but I survived and I came out a better coach for it.
Yeah.
And they'll be more prepared than any other intern in this region. Put my whole life on it.
Yeah. We're again, tooting our own horn, but we are the best internship or co-op experience for strength conditioning in terms of experiential learning. You don't believe us? Talk to any of our other co-op students or past interns because they've also done placements and had experiences everywhere else. It always comes back to us being at the top ranked is because of the experience and practice they've got to have and the resource they had at their disposal to further their own learning instead of just showing up, fucking checking a box and just saying they did the thing. Like it's hands down, night and fucking day.
Apples and oranges, baby.
Night and day. All right, that's pretty fucking good for today's episode. So, guys, this is the Performance Matters Podcast. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends. Remember, Squadtoberfest is here October 24th, 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock on a Friday night. Where else you'd rather be than been in the bars, and rain energy drinks, maybe some food, and then just some good times. So we'll see you all next time.
Peace.